Hey, my name is Jessica Myers, and I am the deal maker. I am so excited. You know what? As a real estate developer and entrepreneur, I've been able to make deals happen all across the globe. And now here I am on a series about behind the deal. Because so many times people are like, well, what do you do? Are you a real estate? Are you a developer? Are you a GC? What is it that you do? And so that's one of the things I want to give an inside look into what my life is like, the day to day, and some of the decisions that I have to make. Because really, as a deal maker and entrepreneur, you're really problem solving problems. And so that's why I really want to expand into the types of problems that I solve, the people that I help, and the community that I serve. And one of the things, we were at the Generational Wealth Conference this past weekend, and I had a lot of people come up to the table and they gave me a lot of the issues that they're facing in real estate. And I was like, I face the same issues a lot of times getting started. So why not read your responses, read some of the things that you've been through, and then see if we can work on a solution to help you get around it. So, without any further ado, I am going to read the first response and the first question. I'm only speaking from my experience and what I've personally been through, and how I can guide you better based off what I've been through. Now, because of the fact that I've transacted at least $30 million worth of real estate, I've been through a lot of problems. I've been through a lot of great successes. And sometimes, honestly, we've had to pivot where things didn't work out, where I wanted to be this Airbnb guru and master. And honestly, I saw some of the signs with the economy. And I was like, it might just be cheaper to go ahead and sell and cut your losses. And unfortunately, we've had to do that. But through these conversations, that's where we can take a deep dive, just with some of the things that we've been through. So, just for example, okay. So, actually, when you go to my website, you can actually apply to work with me, and it will ask you a series of questions that just tries to understand where you are in your journey. If you are a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, what seems to be the obstacle that's stopping you? And then that's where you can kind of type in what your response is. And then how are you looking to build together? Like, what's that big picture? What's that goal? So that the things that we can help you out with will help get you to that. Now, I'm not going to say the name, and I may even change the location. But here is the question. What are your biggest challenges when it comes to getting started with building real estate? One of the things is my biggest challenge is figuring out how to get started and developing a team that will help me with executing my vision. Now, believe it or not, a lot of people wonder this. Now, I do have my book, Real Estate Mastery Steps, but one of the first things you want to do is understand your buying power. A lot of us on here have either bought a car, tried to look for a car. You understand the car buying process, but we think it's slightly different when it comes to a house. And there's a lot more paperwork involved, but it's ultimately the same thing. Like, don't overthink it. Don't try to make it something that it's not. You know, when they say, how do you get started? How do you get started with a car? You don't go to the Mercedes-Benz lot if you only approve for Acura. So you go see what your buying power is. And that's one of the things that I talk about in the book, like understanding your capital stack, understanding how to put together, when most people talk about getting into a real estate deal, 100% of the cash does not have to come from you. You can utilize lines of credit or other creative ways to use OPM, other people's money. And that is a way, but you got to understand how much you get access to. How much buying power do you have? Because I generally say how much ever cash you have is about 20% of the deal. 80% of the deal can be covered by the banks if the numbers in the deal are right. If the numbers in the deal are right, 80%, at least 80%. Now, yes, I am talking about real estate, but honestly, this can apply for business entrepreneurs as well. You can get business funding for your idea. You just have to have the three-part formula. Remember my three-part formula: the capital to execute, the opportunity itself, and the skill set and the know-how. So when you're saying, oh my God, where do I start? Where do I start? Well, how much buying power do you have? Once you determine how much buying power you have, and that's how much money you can get access to. And it doesn't always have to come from you. That's where, I can talk to you and strategize about ways that you can leverage things that you have to get more credit, or to get more capital, more funding, lines of credit. They're creative. You can put together a deal that everything is not depending upon the cash and the capital stack that comes from your pocket. Also, too, where's the opportunity? Most people are saying, oh my gosh, I can't find a deal, but you don't even know what size deal you're looking for because you haven't identified the capital. Because at least once you identify your buying power, that tells you what size deal or what type of deal that you can be a part of. Because everybody's like, oh, I want to buy a hotel, I want to do multifamily, I want to do this, and I want to do that. But really, it starts with focus. You got to focus. Like, yes, my journey is to 1,000 doors, to generating 1,000 doors, and I'm about 48% of the way there. We got about 486 doors in our portfolio right now. So it's a matter of how do I get closer to my goal and my overall vision? Where is my opportunity? And then what skill set and know-how do I have to attribute to said opportunity? So somebody's like, I don't know where to get started. I don't know where to go. You at least can start with identifying how much capital you have. Then with that, how much time do you have to put into the project? Because based on that, you may need to find a team that has the time, even if you don't. Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, let me wait till my schedule frees up. I don't know about y'all, but the older I get, the busier I get. The more things that I have to do, the more must-haves or things that I choose to do to build the empire and do what we're doing. So I may not have as much free time. Whereas like, oh, well, let me wait till I get this off my plate or that off my plate. But the reality is my plate gets fuller and fuller the older that I get. So I have to align myself with the teams that their specialty and their zone of genius, it stays within the areas that I need the skill set and the know-how to cover. Also, too, you want to make sure you clarify that vision to get the opportunity that you're looking for. There is opportunity all around you. But you know what? You can't find it. You can't see it. Why? Because you have not identified what it is that you are looking for. You have to build your criteria of what you're looking for. And your criteria generally comes from the amount of capital that you get access to get started. So it still goes back to point one. Where do I get started? Understand your buying power. Then next, build your criteria so that you know what opportunity you need. And then thirdly, here's the skill set and the know-how and the team to put together. I help leaders strategize so that they can clarify their vision and get to executing their dreams quicker than normal. So that's what I do as the deal maker. There's nothing special but strategy, problem solving. So hit me up at jessicamyers.com so that you can learn more about deals and ways to get your portfolio to seven figures sooner than you think. You got it. Let's get it. Let's go.